Hello, thank you for joining us to review the basics of risk management for student organizations. Student activities and leadership programs is concerned with keeping students safe and healthy while participating in student organization events, activities, and travel. By the end of this training, you will understand the importance of risk management, be able to use terminology of risk management, and how to minimize risk and use the risk matrix. Risk management is about keeping people involved in our activities safe and about maintaining privileges for everyone at Portland State. We are not attempting to completely eradicate risk. If that were the case, we would be able to do very few activities. The purpose is to reduce the potential for harm and liability. Student activities and leadership programs will work with you to proactively assess activities and determine ways that we can lessen risk. In other words, risk management is important because it allows for co-curricular events and activities to be safe, meaningful, and fun experiences, identifies and mitigates possible exposure to risk, protects students, student groups, and Portland State from lawsuits, harm, or loss. In order to fully understand risk management, it helps to have a basic knowledge of several key terms. Negligence occurs when someone has a duty to another person, breaches that duty, and the other person suffers harm as a result. For example, if you host an event where someone is injured and it can be proved that the injury was due to your failure to provide safeguard for a known safety risk associated with the activity. Liability refers to a legal responsibility. Liability can be assumed to your organization, your advisor, your members, yourself, as an individual, or the university. Risk presents itself in many different forms. However, there are several primary types of risk that you should be aware of. Physical risk can include things such as food poisoning, injury that may result from physical activities, injuries that may result from travel. Reputation risks are those things that may result in negative publicity for your organization, the university, individuals, and/or the community partners. Emotional risks are those things that can cause a participant at your event to feel alienated or negatively impact the feeling of a member or members of the Portland State community. Financial risks are those things that negatively impact the fiscal stability of your organization and/or other organizations financially supporting your event. Facility risks are those things which may cause property damage or prevent your event from being held, such as bad weather, not enough space for the number of participants, or lack of equipment or materials needed for the event. Now that you understand the basics of what risk management is and what purpose it serves, we turn to what you and your group can do to minimize and manage your risks. In order to proactively manage your risk, it is important to think about all the possible risks associated with your event or activity, and work closely with your advisor to come up with a plan for handling such potential risks. Make sure to note all precautions taken so that they are documented. Make sure to give proper information and training to all participants and members regarding any potential dangers. And use the risk matrix, a document which you will find attached to this tutorial. Now let's work through how to use the risk matrix with the help of an example. Let's pretend your group wants to attend a national conference held in Seattle. The conference runs from Friday morning through Sunday night. You will leave Portland on Thursday and return on Sunday night. You are renting 2 vans and you will have Saturday night off from the conference for free time. The first step is to outline what will be done on this trip. So, using our example, this will likely include attending conference sessions, after-hour activities, sightseeing, driving, and shopping. The second step is to brainstorm all the possible risks that could occur with each activity. With driving, for example, this could include road hazards such as flat tire, mechanical trouble, getting lost, or getting separated. It might include weather such as icy roads, winter travel, or rainstorms. Or it might take into account the possibility of not having enough approved drivers for trading off, resulting in the potential for drowsy drivers. With attending the sessions, on the other hand, there may be no feasible risks. Step 3 is to use the risk matrix to determine the level of each risk before applying any risk management strategies. There are 2 different axes on the risk matrix. severity, which relates to the level of damage that a given risk could incur, and probability, which relates to how likely a given risk is to occur. Depending on where a given risk falls on the two axes, one can get a better idea of the precautions that need to be taken. The fourth step is to brainstorm methods for managing risk. Find strategies you can apply to reduce the severity of risk and probability that something will go wrong. So, for example, with National Conference, this may include carrying communication devices and having a phone tree, limiting shopping to a short prescribed time during daylight hours, or canceling shopping altogether, developing and writing down a plan in case of separation, checking the weather forecast, making sure that more than one driver per vehicle is available to drive, establishing expectations of behaviors in after-hour activities, establishing a no alcohol policy, having a faculty partner or advisor accompany your organization on the trip, and even exploring the possibility of taking the train or hiring a shuttle. Step 5 requires using the risk matrix to reassess each event or activity after applying risk management strategies. Ask yourself, have you lowered your risks? Are you applying best practices, and would you likely be covered in a lawsuit? Extremely high risk activities in these categories contain unacceptable levels of risks, including catastrophic and critical injuries that are highly likely to occur. High-risk activities in these categories contain potentially serious risks and are likely to occur. Moderate risk activities in these categories contain some level of risk that is unlikely to occur, and low-risk activities in this category contain minimal risk and are unlikely to occur. The sixth and final step is determining if you have reached an acceptable level of risk. Consider modifying or eliminating activities that have unreasonable risk associated with them. Remember to consider and make sure that the activities relate to the mission and purpose of your organization. Revisit questions such as, how will this activity benefit your organization? How does it benefit the university? Are there ways that you can still engage in this activity and reduce the risk associated with it? How does this activity fit with the mission values of your organization? SALPS advisors play an active role in risk management. They must ask within the scope of their job, and this at times involves requiring the tough questions to be answered before an event or activity can be prepared. Advisors are responsible for questioning activities of student organizations to encourage critical thought while also voicing disagreements if they see a problem with a proposed event, and then helping to propose suitable options. Advisors can only accurately help in risk management planning if they have complete information and open communication, and they must feel comfortable when questioning a student activity because that event or activity may have an impact on the university's liability coverage. It is a matter of keeping students safe and protecting the privileges of all students groups as well as the university. Now that you understand the basics of risk management, you will be more prepared to manage and minimize any potential risk your group may encounter in its various activities and events. If after reviewing this tutorial and the attached risk matrix you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask your advisor for help. Thank you for taking the time to watch this tutorial. Please make sure to overlook the attached links and documents and to review all the information thoroughly. Then go ahead and take the quiz.